Good evening. Ira Epstein with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening as we're here now on Thursday, the 10th of July, 2025. I hope your summer's going well. Mine is going great. My back hurts, though. I've been going to doctors, seeing what's going on there with it. I years ago had to have a back operation, and it flared up after many decades, 2 decades, and it's starting to hurt a bit. All right. Where are we with all these markets? Well, you're making all-time highs in the stock market. We're not getting the truth out of the president. Where's all the letters we were going to get this week? 22 letters? You think that's the 100 and some odd letters we were going to get by July 9th? I don't think so. Where's the deals that Scott Bessent had told us we're right to the closing line and we're not there? Maybe we'll get it tomorrow. I don't know. What I do know is no tariff news today. We saw that the CEO of Nvidia met with President Trump, and he's headed to, and Jensen is headed over to China. So the big question is, did Trump give him something to help with America? I don't know if he did or didn't. Maybe selling those chips that Nvidia has redesigned, after they made a group of them, but redesigned to meet the requirements that were wanted, because he's got an attitude properly so that you should not be getting rid of the Chinese. At the end of all this, everybody is going to be using the same type of things one way or the other. We'll see. I don't know. That's the nice way to look at it. We're going to find out. You're going to get the Treasury deficit for June tomorrow. You know it's a deficit. The question is it better or worse? How do they cut the tariffs they're getting? How do they count the tariffs they're getting in? Where does that money going to come into all this? What's it doing? I think that's really the thing that you could focus on. When we look at the markets as a whole, Amazon down 28 cents. Now, this market in Amazon, I saw the figures this morning, and they said something like I thought it was 40% decline from this time a year ago when they ran their sale. That'd be a lot. That would tell me that the consumer's got a problem. I'd be more comfortable with 14%. I didn't check it because I want to see it after 2-3 days. Netflix, looking at the market, down to key numbers. This is the first support area on the weekly chart. We'll see if it can hold that. When you look at Tesla, up today $14. Pretty good rally out of it. Uber slipped 24 cents, didn't really go anywhere. Uranium up. And MP Materials, whoa, remember I brought that on and we're covering it. We're going to cover it again tonight. And I said, and I told all my friends, I said, the stock pattern is not good. But how are they not going to get business out of being one of the main rare earth material people in the U.S.? And who comes in today to the rescue? $400 million purchase of stock. The government is not taking it over. The CEO is on there. They're treating them just like an investor of anybody else, but it's awful nice to have who's going to be your biggest buyer potentially and who can clear the path. Hey, I'm having trouble opening this new mine. You're my big investor. Do you think you can make a call? You know what's going to happen with that. Other things go on. This is a real boon, and the stock exploded today in value. That's the right way to talk about it. You can see you're still going up in all different parts of the metals. I like what I'm seeing there. Keep your eye on AMC. I'm noticing that some of these single future ETFs are starting to take an interest in it. It's almost like a meme, these things. They create a lot of volatility when things happen with them. So in Starbucks, we had that move up, and I'm not surprised that it pulled back down, and you closed practically unchanged on the move. I don't see a trend yet. I see a higher high, lower low pattern. The market got over for a moment, and that's about all I can say, on news that they were getting close to selling their Chinese operation, had that moment lift, and the 200-day average, along with the Bollinger Band, stopped the rally temporarily. But I think this market's setting up for a bullish move from the looks of things. It's a bit overbought, but getting away from that. Yesterday it was more overbought than today, and today it's slipping back not to be in that category. I'd look for big support at 93.15 to 92.92. Here you go with the 50. Yeah, that's not wrong. 50.62% gain. in MP Materials. So it's run, no point in watching it. I'm going to remove it after this. You have to wait for it to start either filling those gaps or develop a new chart pattern. When something like that happens, I mean, if you want to buy it after the event, that's up to you. I think the pros are making their money on it right now. And I can tell my friends to take some of that cash if they bought it. I never know. Lower highs, lower lows. You can see on Dash pulling back. That's what I've been wanting to see. So you lost your bullish momentum. I wanted to get back, ideally, into this 234 area and build a little bit of a base. We'll keep that one up and we'll watch it develop. Is this it for Google? Is it come back here to build and work from that? I don't think so when it's this overbought. It could. It hasn't wanted to stay under the 18-day average at all. It's just not exciting right here. Everything else is moving ahead of it. Here's that big break finally in Netflix. So the people that were buying this vertical price rally, you do realize some of them are already out $100 a share. That's an awful lot to be out. I'd rather you wait, let the market come to you. The weekly chart looks completely different than this. We'll cover that over the weekends. You'll see what I'm saying. Robinhood. Interesting that it's an up day in Robinhood. In Florida, the Attorney General has sued them, well, subpoenaed them might be the right word, but that's the form of a lawsuit, the beginning of it, over the truth in advertising as to whether they're really the cheapest way to be buying the cryptos that are there. A lot of this is commission free, but is it really free? Because third-party vendors pay for the orders. What's the spread? So if the spread is big and it could be more than you'd be paying in a fair commission, then Robinhood has a problem. If it's less and they're saying they're amongst or they are the least expensive to buy them with, then they're right. I don't know enough other than that, but the fact that it was up was interesting today on that news. In Tesla, you're watching how the markets come up to the 18-day average zone, the 100, trying to fight right there. It's oversold. You can get a bounce, but I don't see a turnaround just yet. I'd like to be wrong on that. In stocks, back up to the Bollinger Band. And you're coming up to, as you can see, just all kinds of resistance right here. Be a bit cautious, but you're still fully embedded. You don't come out until you got to come out if you're in these trades. You ride them through. Now, in XLF, you're overbought. If you take out the lows of Wednesday, not today, Thursday, but Wednesday, I would say you got a shot at getting back to 51.65. The interesting part is the interest rates have not rallied the way that they started off. Remember, they got under the they got into what, the 4.25 level? Then they got back to 4.4. Well, now they're in the middle of that. They seem to be very range-bound temporarily. That type of market, without it advancing, is not bearish for stocks. XLI, the industrials, just a run to the upside. So the market's giving you a sector that it thinks is home runs. Chips, industrials. You can see two sectors completely on fire. I don't know about the energy. What I do like, I certainly like the refineries. I like the transit lines. That I like. That's better than the energy. But on the energy, I'm not in that camp. Now in the metals, gold is languishing. It's caught between now the 18-day average and the lower Bollinger Band, whereas silver is ready to say, can it move out of that upper Bollinger Band? Generally, the first challenge is a failure, so we'll find out if it does it. It is overbought already. In copper, these are the miners. This is not copper itself. Copper tonight's up another 6 cents at $5.65 a pound. So copper itself is up. It's got to translate into the miners. It hasn't yet done that. It's certainly not bearish because you're over the 18-day average, but that chart to me is not looking like it's a buy. I don't see anything in BND or TLT. Higher highs, lower lows, testing its support here. If you break through this low, why can't you go back to 72.50? I don't see anything on it to get me into a buy mode just yet. In the dollar, this is what I expected. When we lost the bearish readings here, the embedded, I was looking for the 18-day average. You've got it. Now it's going to start telling us the new story. And in FXC, I was looking for a challenge, as you know, of the 18-day average. You got pretty darn close. 107.65 low, and the 18-day average 107.60. I'm laughing because so often these are the type of things that happen with that market. So what kind of market is this for some of these stocks? I can tell you what I think. I think pivot points are working in some of them. You've got some that it's easier. Tesla could be one of those. Easier to hit and run in these stocks than it is to hold on and own it. I certainly wouldn't do that with the Nvidia. I certainly wouldn't do it with SOXX. But there's a number here that are just oscillating back and forth. GLD fits in that. This is a technique that you might want to look. Remember, pivot points will put a series on the chart. You'll have a center line, 2 sell lines, 2 buy lines. I tie it together with momentum, and I teach it in a free video series for you. So you probably have this study already on your charting software. Just go to our website, iraepstein.com, or call my staff. They'll get it to you. Go there under free offers, go in, pick the one you want, fill out the form, and we'll get it out to you typically within 2 business days. I'm Ira. I hope you watched the other videos tonight. Please give us a thumbs up if you like what we've done here. Here's the icons, take you to our website as well. You take care.